despised. That's part one. And then part two, if I may, and then I'll throw it over to you guys. But we've also had a lot of people leave recently, whether it's Blake Griffin, Ken Holland, Bob Quinn, Matt Patricia, Reggie Jackson, Andre Drummond. Of all the people that have recently left, good or bad, Matt Stafford, thank God he's gone. I'm sorry, Matt Stafford. Of all the people that have recently left, who is the one guy that you wake up every morning and you say, as John said, thank you, baby Jesus, he's out of here? Because I gotta believe Matt Patricia might be the answer to both questions. Your most hated local coach and the one guy that you are so happy to have said goodbye to. Now, before you start, I get it. The ticket text, they'll say they want to get rid of me. I understand it. But I'm not an athlete, okay? I'm not costing anybody's salary cap. But who do you think it is? It's a two-parter. Most despised local coach and the one guy that has recently left Detroit that you were so happy to say goodbye to. 248-539-9797, the ticket text, the exact same number.
It's interesting. I didn't laugh as hard as you did. That sounded quite different. But the Matt Patricia, we know that he had success in whatever level of involvement he had before he came to Detroit working with Bill Belichick. So I didn't laugh that hard when I saw that. I probably would have run off the road and put my truck in a ditch if it said Bob Quinn was assistant in the draft. Because, and to your point, as a coach, I thought Matt Patricia was woefully inept because he was supposed to be a defensive genius, and by the third year, he took a defense that was, not great, and maybe not even average, but he made them historically bad. And that, to me, just means that he's not a great head coach. But the guys that he was fielding on that historically bad defense were put there by Bob Quinn.
True, but John, and I don't think anybody can dispute this, good old Matt Patricia had a lot of say in who they were bringing over. Now, granted, you're right, it was Bob Quinn too. It was the blind leading the blind, right? Both guys had no clue what they were doing. It's pretty obvious by all the stuff you just said. But I'm pretty sure that Patricia signed off on a couple of those guys that were part of that franchise worst defense. But 248-539-9797. We'll get to the calls, but of the questions out there, Matt Patricia is now helping Bill Belichick in the draft, which makes me just lose my mind. It's hysterical. Hey, Matt, grab your pencil. Who do you got in the 7th round?
It's funny you said there's another CBS mock that has the Patriots trading with the Lions, and the Patriots taking Mac Jones, and the Lions getting Waddle at 15. You know how that'll turn out. Mac Jones will be a 20-year Hall of Famer. Matt Patricia will burn us again.
If that happens, I'm out.
Oh, that's the breaking point?
That is the breaking point. If Matt Patricia wins in the end, that is the breaking point. So 248-539-9797. Patricia helping out Belichick in the draft. Give us your most
Patriots-Rams Super Bowl.
Give us your most despised
Mr. Ortiz, please save us.
local head coach. And the second part is, of all the people that have left recently, who were you the happiest to say goodbye to? Get to your calls next. Now with Tony Ortiz, update the 97.1 The Ticket.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. From the Sold by 5C Spice Desk. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
This update is sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Red Wings are on a 3-game winning streak for the first time this season after they beat the Chicago Blackhawks last night 4-1. His first game as a member of the Red Wings, Jakub Vrana scored a goal. In fact, it was that goal in the second period that put Detroit Legends contest, Jeremy Grant, Mason Plummer, and Wayne Ellington. Isaiah Livers confirming in a post on social media yesterday he's decided to not return to the Michigan Wolverines basketball program next season. Even though he's a senior, Livers was eligible to return under the NCAA's rule that because of the COVID-19 pandemic, they were granting seniors an extra year of eligibility if they wanted. In a post on Twitter yesterday, wide receiver Xavier Worthy announces he's asked to be released from the letter of intent he signed with the Michigan Wolverines football program back in December. Congratulations to former Wayne State wide receiver Darius Roberson. He was signed yesterday by the Arizona Cardinals. In his final season with the Warriors back in 2019, Roberson led the team with 34 catches for 706 yards and 10 touchdowns. From the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and radio.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
Oh, that's right. Stoney and Jansen, Jeff in for Stoney. Stoney back on Monday, and we told you the story, a rather funny story, very humorous, that apparently Bill Belichick has reached out to Matt Patricia, and Patricia's helping Belichick with the draft, which we have in 2 weeks from yesterday. So we're asking the question of all the former local head coaches in Detroit, which one did you dislike the most? Hate is such a strong word. And the second part of it is, of all the people that have recently left, which one were you the most excited to say, see ya, to? So here are some ticket texts, guys, and then we can get to the calls and anything else that you want to do. But these are very, what's the word? Well, they're very mean, but here we go. Feel free to comment when you see fit.
Okay.
Brad Osmus, glad he's gone. I gotta believe Brad could be at the top of the list. He was awesome, and he had a really good team that he pretty much ran into the ground, kind of like Patricia. There's another one. Most despised, Jim Harbaugh. It's as if he's already left. Here's another one from Mike. Says Jeff is the Patricia of talk radio. Crap. Yep. We're both aeronautical engineers. What I do in my spare time, I fly drones.
Where's your pencil?
Here's a pen.
Yeah. Give your ball cap.
All right, there we go. Got my Ticonderoga #2. A couple more for you. Leave it to Jeff to lead a negative discussion. Yawn, spreading negativity everywhere you go. Yawn. I knew. Was this my idea? Maybe it was. Here's another one. Why am I getting blamed for this crap? Mike, of course Jeff joins the show when the IQ level drops 100 points. Wait a second. It's like, am I bad at communicating? People are just ripping out me.
In 1
Nobody's
mile,
talking about the
take a
actual
slight
topic.
left turn.
I'm coming to the realization that if we roasted one of our talk show hosts here, that the Rieger roast would be the best.
Oh, we kind of had that. I think you might have been out, and it was Rieger and I, and I believe Heather was there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was there.
And I
Forget
don't
that.
remember how we labeled it, but
I
it
believe it was
was
Rip on Rieger.
Rip on Rieger.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, yeah. See? Wasn't that horrible, Tom?
Well, it was, and we're kind of picking up where we left off. So please continue.
All right, here's some more for you. Brad Osmus and Matt Patricia are neck and neck. And then here's a very positive one. I'd keep Jeff over Brad Osmus. That is not the question, okay? That is not the question.
Which would you rather have? Death not an option.
Death not an option. Brad Osmus, Matt Patricia, Jeff Rieger, Bob Quinn. I got to win over those bums. Here's a couple more. Stan Van Gundy, that's a great one. Jonathan the Pylon Erickson, Suya,
Go
one we
past
didn't
the
even
site,
mention.
then use the
Eric
left 3
Elon,
lanes to take a
another one.
slight left turn.
And then one more for you, and then we'll hit the calls. No one cares about the topic because it's a dumb topic. Patricia's gone. No one cares. No
Take
one
a
cares
slight
about
left
Belichick,
turn,
the New England
then arrive
Patriots.
at your
Suck
destination.
now. Thank God. Move on, please. That is a little.
Something in the water this morning.
What's going on?
Hey, so my one right now, like
Yes.
recently, is Stafford. As you know, last year I just finally had enough. The Green Bay pass broke me. It did. It broke
Is that
me.
the pick six?
To me, I mean, are you in junior high? Are you learning how to play football? Because it broke me.
Arrive at Orchard Lake Road and
There was a
Northwestern
lot
Highway.
that built
Arrived.
up, but he is gone, and he's on to other things.
My all-timer, and I believe Mr. Jansen might agree with me here. I've never had more venom and hatred for anybody than this person. Rich Rodriguez.
Yes, and so I am able to separate the fact that Rich Rodriguez, in the right situation, whether it was at West Virginia, as OC at Ole Miss, was not a bad coach. It fit as the head coach of Michigan, especially following Lloyd Carr and the way that Lloyd operated. It just was a bad fit, and he took a lot of heat for it. I will say this: if you look at his trajectory, now I was not happy to have Rich Rodriguez as our head football coach. I just wasn't, because of his personality, the way he came in. There was a lot of things that turned me off.
I thought from afar he was a gimmick. I think that was confirmed. And then of all the people, like I always thought this was a red flag early on. Joe Tiller calling him a snake oil salesman.
Oh, yes.
What? Since when did Joe Tiller go out saying things about other head coaches? It was a huge red flag. The guy was a joke. He was a fraud. He was a clown. He had no defensive mind whatsoever. He was an offensive gimmick that got figured out. And to me, he was
There's a lot of hatred.
Yeah, go to you work at you would win some games at East Carolina.
So mine is Ken Holland. And listen, I love Ken Holland, and he gave you 4 rings and cups, and I get it. However, I read a quote just recently, so it was the NHL trade deadline on, Wednesday or Tuesday? And, I Googled Ken Holland to see how my good buddy over in Edmonton was doing. Now, mind you, they have Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, 2 of the greatest players in hockey right now. They're both in 20s. Well, that's a good point, babe. Okay. So, but it's funny because then their next highest scorer after both those guys have like 60 plus points is like Tyson Barrie, who's got like 18 points. Bottom line, they need help. And they're good enough to win a cup if they get a little depth. Ken Holland's quote to the media about not doing anything at the trade deadline was, well, some years it's easy, some years it's tough. We decided we couldn't do it. I'm paraphrasing. But I heard that quote, and it all came back to me. Jonathan Erickson's contract, Justin Abdelkader's contract, Jimmy Howard's contract, all the bad draft picks, and I get that Mr. I probably wanted him to make the postseason, which delayed the rebuild, but I'm very happy Kenny Holland's gone. And then in the same breath, Anthony Mantha, who by the way scored again yesterday, is gone. You get a first, a second rounder, and a guy in Verona that scores yesterday, and another guy that probably won't be here, Penn. But Yzerman here, Holland gone, it made me see the light. Mine's Ken Holland.
So the issue that I have, if we go back to the original topic of Matt Patricia going to New England, and I already mentioned, as a coach, I was not a huge fan of Belichick because I thought what he did with the defense was very close to criminal. And I also think that Bob Quinn is the one that gave him those players. Now, can a coach scheme things and make some players that are not the best at their position still play well and still execute? Yes. But the issue I had was with Bob Quinn. But if you look at the way that Belichick has drafted and New England Patriots have drafted in the past, other than looking out with a few individuals, obviously Julian Edelman and what he was able to do throughout his career, Tom Brady, but for the most part, his first-round picks, his second-round picks, guys that you want to get great value out of, haven't been great. And his draft history, so then you fast forward to that to what the money's got. They went to New England to try and get Bob Quinn and go the New England It's a deal this month during Ram Truck Month. You can get into a 2021 Ram 1500 Crew Cab 4x4 night edition starting at only $279 a month. So if this sounds like your kind of ride, go see my friends Bill and Tim at Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram today. They have a ton of these bad boys on the lot right now. Don't go searching around from dealer to dealer, wasting your time, making a bunch of phone calls when you can go to Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for your one-stop shop. With features like a 5.7-liter Hemi V8 engine, heated seats, heated steering wheel, backup camera, remote start, this truck blends performance-enhancing and fuel-saving technologies to leave the competition in the dust. So whether you live in Waterford, Dearborn, South Lyon, or Warren, you're just a short drive or a click away from the best car buying experience you're ever going to have. Ask for the John Jansen deal today. For more info, check them out online at southfieldchrysler.com. And remember, all roads in Old Towns lead to Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram at 11.5 and to the road.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
An accident has just cleared I-94 westbound after Kaju, but there's no crash on 94 westbound after Ross blocking the right lane. Traffic is slowing down from 8 Mile. The duck did go right. You can trust to avoid those delays. Excuse Mac or Gratiot Avenue. Also coming up today, be aware of double right lane closure scheduled for 75 northbound from Big Beaver to Ronalds through Monday
will be important to see if he wants it back or not.
No, but of course, it's different with these guys. I mean, this ring that she was wearing is worth $1.8 million. Most people's engagement's ring is not nearly worth that much. But the thing is, it sounds like the couple just exchanged, obviously, a massive amount of money and jewelry with each other. She gifted him a bunch of watches. He gifted her a bunch of jewelry. And it sounds like they're just going to kind of call this a wash. Like, you know what? You gave me all these things. I give you that. You just keep it. And it makes sense in a couple like this who has millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Right. When it goes back to, hey, you know, what is it, a month's salary that you're supposed to spend on it?
Oh,
3
no,
months
way more
salary?
than that. I
Oh
think
yeah.
it's 3 months.
If it's 3 months of somebody that is not of the means of
Yes.
A-Rod or J-Lo, then that's when it becomes. I'd like to have that back.
Of course, which I understand, and I think it's got to be, you know, between the couple, and each couple's going to be different on who should keep it afterward. But
Not a great resale market for most though.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
I'm sure you could get rid of it, but probably for not what you paid for it.
There's a lot of ticket texts coming in on this story. If you
Yeah.
keep the ring, you suck. And then this one said, the ring is not a gift. Well, what else is it? Of course it's a gift.
it's a gift. It's a gift.
Yeah.
Pledging your love and hoping to get married. That you have intentions of staying with that person for the rest of your life.
All I know
It's a
is
gift.
I feel really down. Like if I propose to my wife and she's saying yes, right? And I spend so much, like you do spend a lot of money on these things. And if she's not giving it back to me and she calls it off, then she should give it back to me.
You feel really
And
down.
I
Is that what you're
feel
saying?
really down, sad. I take her to court.
Kira Sedgwick, you guys, says that she's never going to be invited back to Tom Cruise's house, your favorite guy, John, after she pushed his panic button. He's got a panic button, or had one at least in his house. And she said this happened 30 years ago. This was during an interview on the Drew Barrymore show, and she says that after she pushed the button, a bunch of police showed up, and she's never been invited back.
There was this like fireplace mantle, and I was looking around, and there was this little button underneath the mantle. A little button, and I was like, oh, that little button. So I pressed the little button because I just thought maybe something interesting will happen, like the wall will turn around. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Nothing happened, and then I got a little nervous. It's like, oh, nothing happened. That doesn't seem right. So I tapped Tom on the shoulder, who was in the middle of a story. And I said, I pressed this button down here. And he was like, you pressed that button? And I said, yeah, I pressed that button. And he goes, that's the panic button. And so the cops came. They had to stop the screening.
They had to see
And-
Tom.
Yeah, they just
If
see
I was
him.
the police officer who showed up, I'd ask to just make sure that Tom was okay.
Right. I think there were more than like 5 cop cars. It was something. I didn't get invited back.
That laugh track. That's awful. That laugh track was so bad.
Yes, but you see a button, and a button needs to be pushed, especially if you're in the home of the Mission Impossible guy.
That's a good point. You
You
expect
know?
a trap door or something to fly up.
Yeah, hey, maybe the picture, the portrait that he has of himself over the fireplace would, you know, raise up, and armory would expose itself.
Don't talk about raise up, okay, Groban? We just got done talking about that. Just so you know, your last story about the ring with J-Lo and A-Rod has really caused a lot of backlash and a lot of anger, Heather. I mean,
Sure has.
there are thousands of
Got a lot
ticket
of
texts
opinions about this.
talking about what a ring actually is. A lot of people are saying it's a promise, just as Heather said. It's a
It is a
pledge.
promise.
It's a signing bonus.
Signing
It comes
bonus.
with a stipulation, apparently. It's a gift. That's what people are saying.
It's a signing bonus. I've never heard of it referred to as a signing bonus. That's so awesome. There you go. Sign on the dotted line. Here's your bonus.
There you go. You said yes. I never thought anybody would. For it, you get this beautiful ring.
Oh my goodness.
Then there's this one. Engagement rings are a contractual item, not a gift. It's accepted on the premise that you will get married. If you don't, then the ring goes back. That's from Anthony.
Yeah, that's what it's actually like, I think, I don't know if it's an actual law or not. That's what happens in most states. Yes, he is right.
Really?
Yeah, that's what this article says.
It seems like it would be the logical.
Is legally a gift of contemplation of marriage.
I mean, I guess.
It
but
seems
like,
logical, but I also think it has to go back to who's breaking it off.
Maybe, the circumstances that surround that breakup too could play into that a little bit as well.
All right.
Who was she?
Exactly.
Thank you, Heather. All right, coming up next, another recruit gone. 10 scholarship players. See ya since 2001 has started. And plus, the spring game happened and nobody even knew about it. What's going on with Michigan football? We'll discuss next on 97.1 The Ticket.
This hour's ticket signing bonus keyword is bold. Text bold to 72881 for your chance at $1,000.
Sometimes in business, the unexpected comes calling. From rent increases to increased orders to, I'm gonna say it, unprecedented times. But don't bounce back. Bounce forward with Comcast Business. Bounce forward with fast, reliable internet on the network that can deliver gig speeds to most businesses and gives you the flexibility to update your bandwidth in just a few clicks. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next, and bounce forward with Comcast Business. Help your business bounce forward with this amazing offer. Get started with a powerful and reliable internet and voice solution from Comcast Business. Starting at just $35 each month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com today to find out more. Restrictions apply. Limited to new Comcast Business 35 megas per second internet and one voice mobility customers. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and autopay required. Call for details.
Did you know there's more than one Las Vegas? There's the Strip with families on vacation and questionable odds. Then there's downtown Vegas, the original gambling and entertainment mecca. That's where you'll find the D Las Vegas. Book your stay at thed.com. The D Las Vegas, your home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
Benson's Building Supply is a Michigan trusted source for roofing supplies. For over 100 years, Benson's has supplied the products that have helped build Michigan, like Atlas Roofing Supplies. Experience the Atlas difference with their Scotchgard shingle protector that helps protect against streaking. Benson's has the roofing products that you need when you need them. Stop into either location in Pontiac or Redford to speak with the Benson service expert to get the products and service you need on time. Kane Brown West and Free Tour. Saturday, November 20th, Little Caesars Arena. Special guests, Jordan Davis. And Restless Road. See the meteoric rise of Kane Brown live. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at KaneBrownMusic.com. Presented by AEG Presents.
It's the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Hi friends, Bill Gowling here telling qualified Chrysler employees that you can now lease a 2021 Jeep Compass Limited 4x4 for just $249 a month. This is for 36 months, 10,000 miles a year with $1,500 down. Plus, we have more than 1,500 vehicles, and remember, we'll always be here to service you. Remember, when you buy local, so you support the hardworking people of our community. That's Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Logan Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, and online at Gowling.com.
At CDW, we get the importance of clear communication.
I was on a conference call and I think my boss asked me to send her roasted beets in a can.
Talk to the experts at CDW. Using Poly headsets and cameras, an orchestrated collaboration solution that lets you hear and see clearly on any device, any meeting platform.
Oh, looks like she asked me to send her the report sheets. What a name. You like beets?
No. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Learn more at CDW.com/Poly.
And Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to think about it.
Jansen studio. Here's Stoney and Jansen.
Oh, that's right, 7:36, Stoney and Jansen. Mike back on Monday. Tigers play tonight. Another game against the A's. See if they can get a W. They lose yesterday. Tariq Skubal got lit up. All right, so John, I don't know if anybody knows this, but John played for Michigan. I don't know if anybody knows that. Won a national championship with Michigan. So I think you're probably the right guy to ask about this program currently. A lot of people are now starting to talk about Michigan. I find it weird, by the way, because last week was the spring game. Was not televised. You and Stoney were there, correct?
Yes, we were.
Okay, no media, no television. Nobody even knew what was going on with the exception of family of the players were allowed to go, and John Jansen, and of course Michael Stone. Yes, because
he's a friend.
What would be a spring game without Stoney?
Yes.
So I talked about it on Saturday when the spring game was. What time was the game, by the way?
Boy, that seems like it was so long ago.
A week ago.
It was. I think it kicked off at noon.
Okay.
We got there around 11:30 and started the festivities.
So I talked about it at like 2 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock on Saturday. And I just said, what the hell is the deal? I've never heard of this. A spring game, no media, no TV, makes zero sense to me. Give me a reason to why it's happening.
So I'll give you, there's three different things going on. In terms of the family and friends being the only ones that were there, I think that's kind of self-explanatory in regards to the ongoing numbers that we have talked at, to a certain extent here today in the state of Michigan, but also the Big House is a vaccine location. So we didn't want a whole bunch of cars pulling up and